Today we're going to graph this equation, and we're going to do it using the x-intercepts and y-intercepts. These are the two key concepts for our lesson today. So let's talk a little bit about the definition of this. Intercept simply means that you cross or come into contact with something. The x means the x-axis, so this is where you come into contact or cross the x-axis with your graph. Similarly, the y-intercept is where you come into contact or cross the y-axis with your graph. So if I was to draw a graph with a line right here, we can see it crosses the x-axis there. That would be our x-intercept, and it crosses the y-axis there. That would be our y-intercept. And if we know two of the points for a line, we can graph the rest of it. So let's take a look at the graph over here and explore some x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Now, you can see I've put some points along the y-axis and along the x-axis. Every point along the y-axis has something in common. If you take a look at this x value right here, you'll notice it's 0, 0, 0, 0. Any point anywhere along this y-axis has an x value of 0. I know that my y-intercept is on the y-axis. So I don't know what the y value is, but I guarantee 100% of the time my x value will be 0. That is super important for this lesson and moving forward for other types of equations. Let's take a look at our x-intercepts. Anything along the x-axis, you will notice these points here, 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 and here also all have something in common. This y value is always 0. Anywhere along the x-axis, our y value is always going to be 0. So again, we can put that information over here. I don't know what my x value is, but I guarantee that my y value is 0. We're going to use the equation and these two pieces of information to find out the pieces that are missing, so I can put those 2 points on my graph and then draw the line. All right, let's take this equation. We have 3x plus 5. And I know that my y value is 0. So here in place of y, I'm going to plug in that 0. And that will give me something that I can then solve for x. Well, 5 times 0 is 0. That leaves us with just 3x equals 30. And then we can finish by dividing by 3. And that gives us x equals 10. And I now have the missing information to be able to locate this point. My x value is 10. So in a second, I'm going to put that on the graph. Let's do the same thing over here with our y-intercept. That gives us 3, and I know my x value is 0. I guarantee for the y-intercept, the x value will always be 0. Plus 5y equals 30. And let's finish solving this. 3 times 0 is 0, so that leaves us with 5y equals 30. Finish this out by dividing by 5, and we get our y value equals 6. And that finishes out this point. So we now have 2 points that we can graph, the 10, 0 and 0, 6, and then we'll connect them with a straight line and we'll be finished. So let's take a look at our graph over here. I'm going to erase these points. I don't need them anymore. So our first point was our x-intercept, which was at 10, 0. That's over here. Our y-intercept was at 0, 6. We have a straight line, so we connect those 2 points with a straight line, and we are done with our graph. So let's review our strategy really quickly. Start this way. Make sure you write the information that you know down with the zeros. Our x-intercept always has a y value of 0. Our y-intercept always has an x value of 0. Once you have that organized, you can then plug it into the equation to figure out the other value. When I see people that rush through that step, often they will get these mixed up and put these values in the incorrect place. So I would recommend starting this way, and you should be able to graph all of your lines using that skill. Thank you.